All right, guys, today we got a 2017 Ford F150 with a 5-liter in it. This thing's got a shudder going down the road. A lot of people have commented that doing transmission flushes are a waste of money. Today, we're going to test that theory. Let's get into it. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this thing down the road. We're going to look at the torque converter slip. We're going to get it to shudder and watch that. And then we're going to do it when we're done doing all the work. We're going to go back out and do it again. That way we can prove that we made a difference to it, because we're going to be able to feel it, but hopefully we'll be able to see it. So let's get this thing on the road. This thing's got to be warm for it to do it. So it's good and warm now, full operating time. Oh, it's doing it. It's doing it pretty bad right now. So if we watch, we can actually see it in the RPM at times. I'm going to try to get it. There it is. See that RPM? And the client did mention that. There it goes. Oh, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. You can see it jumping up. See the RPM jumping up? Mm-hmm. All right. So we can feel it. It's doing it. It's like boom, 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 boom. And then the time, like when I said it was doing it really bad, it was like, it's almost like you're feeling like you're going over the strips when you're coming up to a stop sign, maybe on a little bit of a road that's kind of dark, or out there, so they wake you up. So, but we can definitely feel it. We can also see it on the scanner too. Let me go ahead and turn around, because we are quite a ways up here now. You see all those spikes? All those spikes. Every time it shudders, there's a spike. So there's a shudder spike. Hang on. Try to get it to do it really bad here. You kind of got to play with it. It'll do it. It just does it all the time, but I'm trying to play with it to get it to do it really bad. And you all know what that feels like, where it sits there and goes, brrr. That's what I'm trying to get it to do right now. It's just right now, it's just like popping, like brrr, brrr, brrr. So I'm trying to just get it really to do it. It's getting a little more aggressive. I just can't get it to do like a whole string of them. Just doing it in like a surges. So let me see if I can't slow it back down again. You can clearly see that. Every one of those spikes is when that torque converter slipped and shuddered. That's exactly what we're feeling right now. It's hitting pretty good too. This is a very aggressive shuddering. So this thing is clearly messed up. It is. I mean, this is shuddering to the point where you wouldn't want to drive this vehicle. I mean, it's like sitting there constantly going, right? So I'm going to pose a question for all of you out there, and I get it. Everybody's got a different opinion, and, I respect that 100%. So my question to the technicians and the people out there that say, do not flush transmissions, right? It's a waste of money. What do you do on this case? Do you put a torque converter in it? Do you put a transmission in it? What is your fix for this? So our fix is going to be a flush, right? And I know it's going to take care of it. We'll see. We'll go and we're going to find out. But we've done so many of these. I know it's going to take care of it. What do you guys do in this case? Do you just call a transmission? I mean, that's to the tune of several $1,000s to do that, or even just putting a torque converter in it, if that were to fix it. So, I mean, and that material is going to be, and then if you put a torque converter in it, what are you doing with the fluid? Are you flushing the fluid out? Because there's going to be, material that came from the shuttering of that torque converter is going to be in the fluid. So, you just leave that in there? I'm being straightforward with you. I really want to know the comments on that. I want to know what your cure for this is, because I'm curious, because we've always just flushed them. So let's get back to the shop and let's go ahead and get a flush going on this thing. All right, we just finished the video. Let me know, do you think we fixed the truck or not? While you're here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 200K. When we get there, we're gonna do a big giveaway. Hit it now, hit it now. Back to the video. So this is a 6-speed transmission in this. Every transmission is different. We use this cleaner from Valvoline, and the way we have to get it in this transmission is, this has got a little dummy plug where, technically a dipstick looks like it would go in at some point. Just pull that and you inject it, making a mess. And you inject it with this little guy right here, and then you let it run, let it get all the way through there, circulate around, And then we're going to, the way that this one is going to be flushed is instead of going into the cooler lines, and we're going to show you how we do it on this one, instead of going into the cooler lines and it coming out, because a lot of transmissions you're just going to disconnect the cooler line, you're going to hook it in line with the machine, right? So there's going to be an in and out on the machine, and then it's going to come out of the transmission into the machine. Then it's going to push new fluid out of the machine into the line, and then you're just going to keep doing that until it's empty. You're going to have 16 quarts going to go through it. In this case, we're going to do it through where that dipstick is, because the lines on this thing are monstrous to get to. We're still going to accomplish the same thing, but we're just going to do it a different way. So we're going to show you how to do that. So Derek's got the tube. If we look in here, we'll see that he's down in the pan. He's got that thing fed back. He's trying to get into this little sump right here. He's going to suck out as much as he possibly can out of the pan right now. Go ahead and let's do that. This is going to be step one. After it gets pulled out, then he's going to put fresh fluid back in the pan. That's the first step of the process. Then we're going to run the engine.
Look behind you.
Tinker, what are you doing? Tank, come in here out of the parking lot. You're going to get hurt, girl. So once that gets filled and we run the engine, we're going to run this process several times while the engine's running. All right, baby G. She's empty.
It'll do its automatic fill.
Oh, it will?
Yeah, once it sees, it's going to keep sucking and sucking and sucking until
yeah. And then it'll automatically fill it up.
It'll automatically fill out what it took in.
This machine will actually, it knows when it's empty, and it will automatically do a fill on it. Let's check that out. I want to see that happen. Never seen that. I'm used to the older machine that we had. We had to manually do everything. What is this machine?
This is from
Valvoline. Yeah? Yeah, nice. Okay. There it goes. You might not want to be standing there in case it. You might not want to stand there. You're taking a chance there. It's just going to put in what it took out, right?
About 2 quarts.
Yep. So two quarts came out, 2 quarts going back in. There you go. And that's roughly what you would get on a transmission if you just did a pan gas, pull the filter down. It's about what you're going to get out of it. And this thing holds way more than 2 quarts.
So it's just going to keep this process going.
Yep.
So why is he starting it right now?
He's going to start it because now what's happening is that torque converter is spinning, right, which is spinning the front pump. So all that fluid, that fresh fluid, is now getting pushed around the system, and he's just going to sit there and do that process over and over and over again. And we're going to basically overwhelm it with new fluid. We're going to pull out, put in, pull out, put in, pull out, put in. And it's just going to overwhelm it with new fluid until there's just no old fluid left in it. Obviously, that new fluid's getting mixed with the old right now. You just keep doing that and keep doing that. And eventually, there's just no old fluid left. 16 quarts, yeah. 16 quarts is what we're going to go through here. Did you happen to look up how much this thing holds? Can you grab that spec for me and just let me know? So this is total in and out. This transmission holds almost 13 quarts. We're going to be running 16 through it, which is going to be obviously, take out a lot more of the old, the old and the new that got mixed. We'll be able to get all of that out of there. So, but that shows you right there. We dropped the pan down. Let's just say, that you get 3 quarts, right? We got 2 quarts out of the pan. Let's say you get 3 quarts out of the pan. So for a lot of people say, oh, I would just drop the pan down. I wouldn't do a flush. Okay, well, you're going to drop the pan down. You're going to get, let's say 3. You've got another 10 quarts in that transmission and that torque converter and the cooler that you're not changing. It'd be like changing your engine oil, but only taking 1 quart out when it holds 5. So this is why we like doing it like this. it gets all the old fluid out and all new fluid in. And we like the cleaner too. The cleaner first, we have found really good luck with that, with putting the cleaner in it and letting it run. Like I said, we've been using that for years and years.
If you're not flushing, you're not getting a torque.
If you're not, yeah, and way back in the day, right? When I'm not talking about back in the 70s and the 80s, Ford had a drain plug on the torque converter. So this is how important it was back in the day. It's like you would drop the pan down before we ever could flush anything. You would drop the pan down, you would put a filter kit in it, put the pan back up, then you'd go over and you'd rotate the torque converter till the plug was down. You take the drain plug out and you drain the torque converter. I mean, and the torque converter held a ton of fluid. That's why everybody used to say the Ford transmissions were so good back in the day. Well, one of the reasons was you could take care of them and you could actually get all the old fluid out of them. All right, it's done. That did take a little bit on this one, which is normal on these Fords. It does take a little longer on these. All right, so we're going to stop it. Is that what you're going to do?
Yep.
All right. Get rid of the beeping. Now, Baby G is going to pull this tube out, and he's going to check the fluid level. This does have the little, I don't know why they don't put a dipstick in these things, but it's got the little dipstick there. Make sure when you're checking transmission fluid that you're checking it at the right temperature. This one is checked at full operating temperature, but there's a lot of vehicles, especially your Europeans, where it's got to be at a very specific temperature, and it does make a big difference. It's really fun when it's hot.
It's really fun. Low.
A little bit low, which is perfect because now we're going to put the conditioner in there. And again, everybody's got their thoughts on this. I get it. And there are certain vehicles where we don't use the conditioner. So like a Honda, we wouldn't use the conditioner in it just because Honda's got a very specific fluid and kind of picky about that. But this one we know we have good luck with it. At the end of the day, you're just looking for a vehicle that's going to last. In this case, it's going to be fixed, but not for that converter. Off a little hot.
I need to talk to HR.
It's a really good tip not to touch the converter.
Yeah.
That only takes a millisecond to touch that thing and hurt.
Still low.
A little bit low.
Yeah, so she'll probably take another half quart, maybe quart.
All right. So we're going to get it filled up. We're going to make sure it's right on the full mark, and then we're going to button it up and go take it for a test drive. We are on the road for the last time now. Everything, so we've driven it a bit. The transmission is up to temperature, which it was already up to temperature. So, but we have
no RPM.
Yeah, we've gotten it up here now to where we're just about where we were before, just to simulate the same thing. And I will tell you that this thing is, I even feel at lower speeds where before didn't really feel the shudder at a lower speed. Did feel a little bit of a hitch at lower speeds that I didn't even realize that now I feel is gone. Let this car go by us here since we're about to lose this lane. So this thing is just smooth as can be. I'm trying to make it mess up, and if we look at our graph on here, it is just smooth. No little bumps, no little bump. The only thing we've got now is when I let off the gas or accelerate, it'll do its thing, normal. So right now, I mean, this is where it was doing it before. I'll slow down again. Let's get it down to about 45. And then we'll just kind of, again, trying to drag it out of it. Trying to make it shudder. So that right there, it would be doing it massively before. And it's just not doing anything. It's just smooth as can be. Absolutely smooth as can be. Go ahead and pulls good. So it's fixed. It's fixed. Again, I already knew it was going to be fixed before we even started on it. We've done, I mean, if we've done one of these Fords, we've done 100 of these Fords, probably more than 100 of them. They developed this little shutter over time, and this one's got 106,000 miles on it. I don't think we ever mentioned that. So it has 106,000 miles on this vehicle, and to me, if this would have been serviced previously, it never would have shuttered, never would have had this issue. Just service it regularly, and you'll never have any issues with it. Now, luckily in this case, it had good miles on it where we were able to do it, not have any issues, and not have to worry about, you know, bigger issues with the transmission. If you wait too long, you had 155, 160,000 miles on it. At that point, you know, it's like, you know, you've probably gone too far, which is why we don't have problems with doing these transmission services. We know when not to do it and when to do it. When it's got super high miles on it, I mean, 150,000 miles is not really super high miles on it. But if it's got 150,000 miles on it and it is got a shifting issue, we're probably not doing a transmission service on it at that point, because it's just waited, you know, you just waited too long. So, but this is proof positive, 100%, that doing transmission flushes is good for the transmission, which means it's good for the vehicle, which means it's good for the client, and it's good for the shop, it's good for the tech, it's good for everybody. All right, truck's good to go, no issues at all. They're already washing it up, getting it ready to deliver to the client. What's the cost of this? Well, it could have been a few $1,000s for a transmission. I mean, thousands of dollars for a transmission, or in this case, less than 400 bucks. This vehicle's fixed. It's not a temporary fix. I know we're gonna get comments down there, temporary fix. It's not a temporary fix. We've done, like I say, hundreds and hundreds of these things, and they don't come back with any vibrations. And down the road, if it does has a vibration, it's 30 or 40,000 miles down the road, it comes back with a shutter again, we do another fluid service on it, because it should be done anyway. So at this point, normally what people do is they understand, I'm going to start doing fluid services on it regularly, and the shutter never happens again. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully, you know, you understand. You know, we're trying to give you guys good information on this kind of stuff. You know, we actually practice what we preach. So appreciate you watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that bell notification, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 200,000. We're going to have a giveaway. Don't know what it is yet. Going to be something good, though, I guarantee it. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.